Let's go.
Hey guys, I'm Trulex. I'm a Gorilla Tech High Pro, and in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to DC branch on every single Quest headset. Now, this will only work for Quest headsets, and the easiest headset to do it on by far, it's Quest 2, which is what I play on, and it's super easy to DC on Quest 2. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. Now, I will be telling you guys how to DC branch on the Quest 2, the Quest 3, and 3S, which is for 3S and 3 is the same thing. I've taught my friend Frozen how to do this, and I'll put a clip on screen right here. One of the best Quest 3S flick branching / DC branching that I've never met. So, which in fact, guess what? I taught him how to do it. So, let's get straight into the video. Now, before we get started, I am going to tell you guys what I do recommend to be able to DC branch. I definitely recommend to play on Quest 2 and play on standalone, where it's so much easier to DC. Because if you play on Steam, if you play on Quest Steam, the way you DC, it's different than the way you do on standalone. So it's easier to DC on standalone than it is on Airlink or Quest Steam, whatever you want to call it, right? So if you DC on Airlink, it's gonna like make your hand go all floppy and all that. It's gonna make your hand go floppy, and it's gonna make you DC in every which way but where you want to DC. No more talking, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so first, we want to come over here to forest, right? We're gonna come over here to forest, alright? So this is where I'm gonna teach you guys how to DC branch, alright? So first of all, the DC, it's really simple, right? So you want to put your hand straight down like this. It's kind of like a Fortune's tutorial, but he didn't explain it that well, and I'm more of a visual teacher, so this should be easier for you. You want to put your controller kind of like this, and then you just want to flick down, right? And you see how my controller DCs, right? Just flick down, right? You look back. The way you can tell if your controller DCs, DC, your hand shoots back. You see how my hand just teleported back? You see my hand teleports back whenever I DC. That's one way to tell your DC. Also, what you can do, I'm not gonna do it because it lags my game and gives me hella preds. You can come over here. You can come over here, right over here. You can pick up this live, and then you can start recording in third person. And then you can just come over here and you can just start DCing like this, right? I'm not gonna do it because it lags my game, right? But basically, you don't want to just hit down hard, right? You kind of want to, ow, that just hurt my elbow, right? Because it will kill your elbow if you do it. You want to have your controller like this, and then you want to flick down like that, right? So you want to flick. I just threw my controller. Alright, I got my controller. Alright, so the way you just want to nuke, and you want to flick down, right? You want to flick down. You see how my controller? See how my controller is DC? You see that? You do the same thing for my left, right? You DC. You tell they DC because they teleport back, right? Now I'm going to teach you guys. I'm going to show you guys a quick DC branching route to help work on your DCs and your consistency and your speed. This is what I do to practice a lot. You come right over here. You want to go right over there. I'll show you guys that in a second. And then you want to make sure that your controllers, you're ready to flick. Oh yeah, another way you can do this is you can kind of put your controllers kind of like this. I do that sometimes too. Alright, I put it more out like this so it's more comfortable, right? And I can like branch easily, but I normally just do this because it's more consistent, alright? So right, you can come over here, you can go here, there, right? You can just come like this until you get over to gazebo, alright? And now you can do the same thing over here, but instead you can go like this, alright? And then you can come over here to pick wall. I'm going to teach you guys a few DC branching routes, and then I'm going to get into the tutorial for Quest 3 and 3S. Alright, for DC branching, right, and we're going to come right over here. Alright, this one's really easy to learn with DC branching. You just want to come right over here, and then you want to hit, boom, I messed that up, right, and then what you want to do, come here, right, you're going to under branch there, over to this branch right here, right, and then you want to hit over here, and then there's two things you can do here. Alright, there's three things actually. You can go straight that way, right? Or you can cut back and go right over here, and boom, now you're at kiwi, right? Because then you're at kiwi. Or what you can do, another thing you can do, you can cut back, go do is just like you can cut back, go up, right? Now you're right here. You want to jump right here, and then you want to hit right there, and then you can go straight to stomp, right? That's another thing you can do. People I like to DC on the wall. Whenever I'm hitting off of a wall, I like to DC, right? Or I'm going between one of these gaps like that. I like to DC, right? Because it gives me that extra boost of momentum. It helps me, like when I hit another branch, my momentum will keep carrying forward. Yeah, you want to DC. You want to make sure that you don't palm flick, because you want to make sure you don't palm flick, because when you palm flick, you're actually when you palm flick, you'll either get stuck on the branch, or you'll just like won't DC at all. So you want to make sure you're wrist flicking, right? And then I would recommend learning high jumps and long jumps. I would definitely recommend that. Reason for that being, it's so much easier to DC branch while you're high up, because you have less things to get your controller stuck on. I'm gonna teach you another DC branch route real quick. You have this one, right? You're just gonna hit there, right? Hit here, then your DC branch route. You go here, right? Then you wanna go here, right? But instead of going up treehouse, you wanna wrap around here, alright? And then wanna do this, right? And then you cut back towards tallest. And then you can go stomp. Really useful. If you do it at speed, nobody's gonna I guarantee no one's gonna catch you. I absolutely guarantee no one is gonna catch you. You don't have to DC. You do not. When you're over here, you don't have to DC hitting off unless you actually know what you're doing. Because if you DC off, you can get stuck. Like, look, I'll try. See, I did not get stuck. But normally, you get stuck a lot. There's one of my shorts. Here's another one. Just want to go from here, right? Make sure you're high up. Hit that that long jump. Or if you can't do that consistently, you can come right here, right? Go here, right? And now you're here, right? But you want to get over here. My controller just killed itself. You can just go here, right? And then up here. And now you just rotated from proper and treehouse, or whatever you want to call it. Whichever one you want to classify that as. You got it from treehouse to death wall in a couple of seconds. There's another one right here, right? You just want to go here, boom, 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 boom. You want to underbranch here, you want to go there. Alright, here's another one. You go here, right? Alright, there, boom, boom. Then you want to do that, and then you should be like here, right? And then you just cut back. I messed that up. Just go here, right? Now you're here, right? Just jump across. You do that. It's more unpredictable than just going right over there normally. But now I'm gonna teach you guys how to do it for class 3 and 3S. Alright, so first, just put your controllers, right? I have DIY knuckles, so I gotta take my controllers at it for this. Alright, just do this right here, right? And then you just wanna flick hard behind you, right? It might take a little bit harder for you to get tracking. You do have to end up hitting a little bit harder, and you have to follow through with your swing more than you do on Quest 2, right? So you gotta keep in mind of that. Little trick that I've been doing for a while. I've been doing it for like 2 months ago when I learned DC branching. My DCs, they weren't all that good, right? But this is what it looked like. You come over here to mirror, and then you just want to practice your DCs like this, right? Sometimes I practice my DCs down like this, right? See, I'm really consistent with my DCs. You see this there, right? I'm really consistent with my DCs. See here, right? I DC almost every hit, right? Right, but there's a time sometimes my DCs, they don't fully extend, right? Which is why I practice my DCs a lot. Because if I don't practice my DCs every day, it's not gonna look good. It's not gonna be consistent. So, if you think someone's using a DC branch mod, most DC branch mods don't have a threshold. There's only one DC branch mod in existence that works that I know of. I know one of my friends got caught using it, so I blocked him. Right? Check for this is you want to make them put their hand to the rib cage, or you want them to flick it back, right? You just want them to bring it back slowly, right? Just tell them to move their arms slowly while keeping this hand behind their back, right? Alright, I'm keeping this hand behind their back, and then at a random time, you just want to tell them to flick, right? If that happens right there, you want to tell them to flick and keep their arm behind their back, right? So like this, right? If it takes, right, give them a couple seconds, right? If they get their tracking back, that's not a DC branch mod. However, if they don't get their tracking back like this, right? If they don't get their tracking back, they're using a DC branch mod. So that's a good DC branch mod check that I've done on a couple people and hope they have failed, right? So that's gonna be in the tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, I'm just gonna go play pubs now, so yeah.